Hello, Cancer. I'm Jenny Fitterer, and I'm here with your March Tarotscope. I have a single card for you for the month of March. The first 2/3 of March is Pisces season. Then we will have the equinox, and that will begin Aries season and the beginning of a new energetic year. So the card for you, Cancer, is the Eight of Cups. Somebody else already had this. We've had a few double ups this month. So the Eight of Coins. The Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups reversed is what we have this month. So this is the way he looks the right way up. So we have this traveler, this man, he's got his little hat, backpack, and his staff. He's walking along, and there's this kind of background village or sort of little scape in the background. There's a couple of flies around him, and he's got all these coins, and it came out upside down like that, okay? I think it was Capricorn, actually, that had this, which is funny because they're your opposite sign. So some interesting things going on this month. Okay, coins. Eight of Cups. Cups and coins. I'm mixing the C's up today. Eight of Cups, I promise. On the journey to your personal destiny, dreams and visions that cannot be easily grasped are nevertheless an important part of our inner world. They help our consciousness to expand and our power of discernment to grow. Begin your search now. Like the cups, the moon in the upper left corner stands for spiritual needs. The card encourages you to start your journey and to keep moving, but it warns you not to become too restless because then you might hurry past your goal, represented by the village in the background, without noticing it. The flies depicted on the card thus have a central meaning. They symbolize the autonomic nervous system, and therefore the tension alternating with relaxation that regulates our biorhythms. Replace nervousness or sluggishness with purposeful action. Go where your heart wants you to go. It is your task to become aware of your inner flow. This is the best remedy against addiction as well as loneliness. It is said that everything flows, but sometimes the inner life has dried up or overflowed and submerged all. Think of your life as a journey. Be like the journeymen of old, who used to travel in order to become masters of their craft. Where do you come from? Where are you headed? Don't force your feelings and inclinations to fit into a preconceived logic. You will find your own destiny in the balance of your own feelings and thoughts. You will discover it at the place where the experience of the flow is the strongest. This is not only a wonderful spiritual experience, it is also a very practical way of dealing with everyday life. The lazy ones are the clever ones. The person who succeeds in going with the flow exerts relatively little energy and yet achieves the most. Practical advice: feel and trust your inner flow. Be aware of your own personal rhythm and make it an integral part of daily life. Feast and fast. There is a time for everything. Okay, Cancer. So like I said, somebody else already got this card. But for you, what's really kind of coming up is this conversation around autonomic nervous system. So it's this whole, in the body, in order to achieve what's called homeostasis, so the healthy balance, is that we're always moving in between two extreme states. So on either end, past the extremes, it's not healthy, but anywhere inside of these is actually fine. Like we don't eat for a while and we're hungry, and hunger is fine. And then we eat, and then we're full, and then we eat a lot, and we're feeling really full, and we're not hungry at all, so then we don't eat, and then we're starting to go hungry again. So going too far, obviously, malnutrition, starvation, not okay. Excess, not okay either. But any of these points is fine. So what we don't want to do is look at the trajectory and be concerned that it's a problem. To be like, oh no, because I'm going towards the energy of less food, something must be really awful. Or, oh no, because I'm going towards excess, the trajectory has me in a wrong place. And forgetting that actually a wave function, this is ebb and flow, this is life moving through in a wave and homeostasis. So understanding that we move through cycles and wave functions, instead of thinking of things as a linear path, whatever the trajectory is where I'm headed forever, this is a really helpful way for us, to just calm down, because speaking of the autonomic nervous system, a lot of that looks like stress. What's our stress response? And how can we find the healthy balance between relaxation and tension, between working hard and rest, and how finding those healthy rhythms really allows us a very long-term resiliency, and gives us like our ability to keep going long term without burning out. So what can sometimes happen, Cancer, might be relevant for you. For a lot of Cancers, it is this whole tendency to be giving, very generous. That Cancer is the archetype of the mother, the nurturer, giving so much, and then sometimes being really tapped out. You can overgive. And when you overgive, you then retreat and want to like hide, keep your energy, get kind of like hoarding your energy because you're so afraid of burning out. You store it up, you retreat, and then once you're feeling better, then you can give again. And so we want to try to make sure that we keep that in this healthy balance of give, but don't overgive. Give and then rest and then recover, and then okay, that's enough alone time, and I'm feeling well served, and now I can give again, and moving through this comfortable state, which that brings us to the next point, which is talking about finding your destiny in the balance between feelings and thoughts. So again, balance is here, not only feelings, not only thoughts of back and forth, but specifically you're going to discover this at the place where the experience of flow is the strongest. So this card is, it's this image of going on a journey, going on a life adventure, but talking about flow. That actually ease can be a really strong indication of being on the right path. And ease in this case, doesn't mean it's all easy, if that makes sense. Flow is not without its challenge, but it's more about not just when you find an obstacle, feeling like you have to pound your way through it, feeling like the only way to know that you're working hard is for it to feel hard, or the only way to know that you're doing something worthwhile is for it to feel difficult, or in this case, the phrase give till it hurts. The only time that you think that you're giving or being generous is to do so until you are empty. This feeling that, if I'm not hurting, I'm not giving, which can be a really kind of toxic and martyred kind of thing to think about. It can say that actually giving can be from a place of generosity. You can have overflow, and that way it feels easy to give. Nurturing that comes from a delight and an adoration. And actually, when it starts to feel difficult, when it starts to feel challenging, when you start to feel overwhelmed, that's the cue to change course. That is the cue that actually, you're feeling the hunger response, or you're feeling the tired response. That's the cue to change direction. And then eventually you'll get another cue to change direction again. So trusting in this flow is part of saying that, okay, sometimes it can be too easy and that's stagnant, but also if it's too hard, find another path. That we want this middle zone of homeostasis is the flow. So this can be, for some of you, hopefully a relief that you don't have to give till you drop, that things are allowed to feel good for you as well as for other people. You're not put on this earth just to serve others. There can be the image of Cancer being the mother, that feeling of the super mom, of the one who takes care of and does everything for everybody and never gets to take care of herself, never rests, and has this total burnout. And that's a very unhealthy relationship that we might have to the mother as giver. And so that may be a relationship you have with yourself, and that may also then be a relationship you project on others. Because you give till it hurts, you might expect that from other people and get really annoyed when other people take the easy road or don't seem to be matching your energy. It's not because they're lazy, it might be because you're going a little too hard and you need to learn how to rest as well. So that's what the card is kind of getting at. This looks like for the astrology of this month. Honestly, it just feels that we're Pisces season going into Aries season. Pisces season is very, very deeply sensitive. It's a water sign as well. So there might be a lot of feeling of that water energy that matches the Cancer energy. So it's really the Pisces can really bring up a lot of experiences of escapism and how we can sometimes overindulge in certain behaviors, and that can look like martyred behaviors. It can look like overgiving as a way to escape from what might feel scary for you, which might be setting a boundary, which might be giving up sometimes. It might be choosing to walk away from something. That might feel really scary, and so Pisces season, we can kind of lean into escapism, but that we all then also have that because we're faced with those things that we want to escape from. We then can can actually realize those better and transmute them and come at them now that we're aware of them with a different amount of courage. And Aries season is going to really give a nice spark because Aries has this really like strong, impulsive warrior energy to it, and the capacity to really to not be like wavering in uncertainty. Aries feels like confidence, and it feels like I'm gonna move in a direction. So if we spend Pisces season working on understanding this flow and trying to have the courage to go with flow instead of feeling like it has to be one way, Aries season gives us that extra spark to actually initiate on and work on that. So that's what's coming up for you, Cancer. Looks like it's going to be maybe a bit of a challenge, but I think it'll be really worth it in the long term, and a really good energy to be starting off the new year, because then you're not starting out in burnout. You're starting off the new year with some boundaries, and with an understanding that things go in waves and cycles. So if you want any additional assistance, the Pisces season Pay What You Can forecast is up and available on the YouTube channel. This month, the donations are not going to me. They are going to an organization in support of Black History Month, because Pisces season starts in February, which is Black History Month. So do give generously for that resource, and then you'll receive the extra tarot reading and more information on the transits that are happening, and that'll be really good help for the closing of the energetic year. And then we'll be starting fresh. So take care, Cancer. I will see you next month.